And week 3 for the St. Louis Rams. No. Yes.
Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone.
Give me a second. Jesus, G, you scared the crap out of me.
You're welcome.
Sound like you're in a rough mood right now.
Hey, come on.
They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. They on attack when they tackle like damagers. They react and play it back on the camera. High boy, just consider me
Okay, I'll put on my
I
headset.
got all the intangibles. Need to lead
Okay.
some of beats, I'm an animal.
That'll be better.
Competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like a
You
rotor.
like to put on my
What
headset?
you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Hit jobs, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerge victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, it's glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash.
I'll be back, fat dude. I'll be back, dude.
Okay, I just... Huh, that was weird. I'm just...
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Between our visitors and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you
Here we are, St. Louis Rams.
As their guys get set to
Build off the Eagles. Once again, I want to apologize. Sounds like a little trouble in paradise with Grisha over there, so,
Charles Davis with you, and now we sit CD at week 3 of the preseason, and this is the one that the coaches probably think is pretty valuable, right?
Certainly. This is the dress rehearsal. This is the one where your starters are going to play. You might even game plan a little bit more than you do with a normal preseason game, and then you've got to decide, do you bring them back after halftime and get them going again in the third quarter so they're ready to go when the regular season begins? I'm eager to see how these coaches will handle that.
Gano out to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So out come the Rams now.
Here comes Jared Goff. Sorry, guys. I'm just caught a little off guard with
quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
While in college, quarterback teams that improved their win total from 1 his freshman year to 5 his sophomore year
Yeah, let's
to
go
8
ahead
his
and start
junior
this
year.
game off.
Love that type of improvement. Love that type of diligence.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now the first carry here for Todd Gurley. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
They'll buy some time right. Throw complete right side to Cooks. Give them 14 on that one and a first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. Now, that play is able to get on the run.
Gurley on his way to the end zone. Touchdown, St. Louis.
This one in for a Rams touchdown. Todd Gurley, 45 yards. And the Rams are going to take a first quarter lead. You talk about explosion plays. There's one pretty much right out of the gate.
And now they get to ride a wave of emotion, momentum, everything. Just as you described, right out of the gate, big sprint, touchdown. They're excited. But on the other side, they've got to guard against a major letdown because they hit them right in the gut with that one. And now you start to question yourself a little bit when you give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Extra point up and good by Succop. And it's now a 7-0 game. The drive there only plays. And last year's rushing and total touchdown leader Todd Gurley caps it with his first of the game here. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5" quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now Wentz. Over the middle, complete to Arcega-Whiteside. The defense here for the Rams.
I got a kick out of talking last year with Aaron Donald about how when he came out of college, many NFL teams thought he might be undersized to play defensive tackle. Instead, he's been a perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowl player since day one, and offenses are still searching for ways to block him and keep him from disrupting their offense.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And he will not get there.
And he's hurt.
Stop him short right around the 34-yard line. The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And this will be taken at the 13. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Gurley. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one good for 26 and a first down. And a nice little broken tackle run there by Todd Gurley, the 10th pick in the 2015 draft.
And that's what you get with him. That full package of speed, power, able to catch the ball in the backfield. Many people doubted him coming out because of the knee injury in college. They're seeing the full Todd Gurley now, and it hurts. All right, Brad, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards the pickup there.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. This carry with the extra effort is going to get him stopped up just shy of the 10. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? One imposed it.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Todd Gurley with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Rams add on to their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues,
hey guys, I got something going through my head right now.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Wentz going to throw. The reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. So 2nd and inches after that 1st down completion went just shy of the marker. Play action. Now Wentz. And the Rams got him.
Got him. Sacked.
That's how we do it, baby.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
To throw is Wentz.
Got him. Fumble.
Here he lost the football. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line.
There.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Now 2nd quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession. But likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. The Eagles send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded just inside the 30. A great return there of 22 yards. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. And he's found the end zone twice, and now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times.
And you got to figure from the defensive perspective, how's he gotten there twice? What are we going to do to keep him out for a 3rd time? How do we tighten things? He and his offensive mates, they are really in sync right now.
Goff.
Okay, give me a second, guys.
A measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That kind of looked like a defense fed up by being gashed in the running game all night.
Yeah, and imagine their coach saying, if you're fed up on that play, where were you the rest of the time? What took you so long? But flip it over to the offensive side. They've been dominating this thing, and to finally have a play go against them, that's not something that's going to make them feel very good this evening. Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Got him down at the 1.
The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. They're still looking at 0 on the scoreboard, and they're going to be hard-pressed to do anything with this field position as they'll start at their 1-yard line.
This almost feels like you're trying to climb Mount Everest because they can put together a decent drive, get a couple of first downs, maybe a third one, and still not even get to midfield. That's a daunting task for this offense.
Continue to blitz and try to get that safety.
Looking for a to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It's a second down run with Sanders. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Ertz has it left side. And he'll be out of bounds right at about the 10-yard line.
4th and 1.
They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And he'll take it just outside the 40.
Cup is brought down.
Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Rams are going to start this drive in great field position as they take over. And we move to spotlighting Brandon Cooks. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
Gurley for the touchdown for St. Louis.
Todd Gurley on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Rams add on to their lead. And those 3 rushing touchdown games in this league, you know darn well, those are hard to come by. They're becoming even harder to come by as the years go by, aren't they?
Isn't that the truth? It doesn't matter what you do in terms of game planning. You may be a run-first team, but you're running against an NFL defense. That's some of the biggest, fastest, best athletes on the planet. Hard to do. Cherish that moment, even as he's eager.
21-0 St. Louis.
Extra point put through by Succop, and it's now 21-0. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And this, you'd hate to say that a drive in the first half must end in points, but you're down 21-0. They're going to have to get something going fairly quickly.
I would agree totally with that, because if you're going to mount the comeback, it's going to have to come in bits and pieces. It doesn't just all come at one time, right? We haven't seen anything more than a 6-point touchdown ever in this game.
2-minute warning here in
That's how it has to be
Philadelphia.
done. Get points on the board now. Start your comeback. But you're exactly right. Let's get it going right here in this spot.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Here's Wentz to throw. Jackson's got it over the middle. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 13-yard gain yet again, just like last play. Throwing now is Wentz. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. These offensive starters still out there in the second quarter. You would think the plans for them to at least play into the third quarter, if not all the way through.
Yeah, it might go by feel. If they have a really good first drive to start the third quarter, they might pull them after that. If not, might leave them out there a little bit longer, but I'll guarantee this, they'll be gone by the start of the fourth quarter.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. He was a second-round pick. Many scouts thought he could have gone higher than that.
And I was one of them. Even though I don't scout for any particular team, I had a first-round grade on him. And frankly, I'm surprised he lasted to the second round. They got a steal with this player.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
Todd Gurley and the Rams offense set to take over. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. So we've come to halftime. It's the visiting Rams taking the lead to the break. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in just a moment. But first, let's give everybody a look at what's coming up this weekend in the NFL. In our game, expect to see the starters for at least one more drive. Something to look forward to as we get you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Well, I guess we're going to get at least a Grisha cameo.
As he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. And that first half, one to forget really. Both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time. Third down here. You know, last week I remember asking you, what would an offensive coordinator be looking for week 2 of the preseason? Now we're in week 3. Defensive coordinator-wise, what's he looking at?
For the most part in preseason, you're playing pretty basic stuff, pretty vanilla defenses. You're looking for guys that play with abandon, that just go out and make plays. You kind of let their athletic ability take over in order for you to notice them.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage will be found.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. The target there, Mac Hollins. And it's third down.
Just work with me a second here, because in my lifetime, seeing how quarterback percentages have changed in throwing the football, I mean, back in the good old days, if you were around 50%, you were doing okay. But now, you need to be 65 to 70% to be considered an elite quarterback. And in this ball game, it feels like we're playing old school, right around 50%.
Yeah, he's under 50%. He needs to start hitting more targets.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung here.
No appreciation for the guys from the...
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Todd Gurley, 30 yards. And the Rams add on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Suck up for the extra point.
Okay, and
extra
it's
point up and good by
20-0 St. Louis.
That makes the score 28-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And the result for the Rams, a touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Another run here with Sanders. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they get the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his
now
rough night
third
continues.
quarter with a 28-0
Welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Here we go, D, get off the field. Get it.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Throws right side, and that's complete.
That's 1st and goal.
That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
Go. 50, play. Go.
Here's Thorson.
And he's sacked.
Down. Sacked right around the 17.
Johnson the 3rd.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
1st down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now Thorson, he's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Meanwhile,
and it's 4th down.
Take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game.
Let's
and
go
to
base
be
block
frank,
right.
They just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And it's 28-3.
And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And the hands team for the Rams able to secure the football. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And here comes Eli Manning, the backup quarterback for the St. Louis
game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams,
and he's out of bounds to the 30-yard line.
I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll run here with John Kelly.
And touchdown, St. Louis.
Take this one in for a Rams touchdown. John Kelly scampering home from 19 yards out. And the Rams have got it on cruise control.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's
on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left scales way
and
behind.
35-3 as mercy rule is now in effect.
The party was over.
Extra point put through by Succop, and the lead will swell by one more.
Super Stem. End of game. By score 38-10, the Rams.
Will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors, and really, it looked at times like they just had this one in cruise control out there.
Yeah, they deserve a ton of credit because you and I both know, heck, they knew. But this is a tough place to play. Overcame that with ease, romped home with an easy win, and here's the best part for them. It'd be easy to get to the airport because the crowd left pretty early in this one, didn't it?
Well, plus they have a police escort.
Okay, you had to spoil that part of it. Of course, they're going to get there. But think about how wide open things are now because this crowd didn't expect this.
No.
So they went back to the tailgate and said, let's go eat. This one isn't any fun for us.
Yeah, they took the drama out of this one pretty early on. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaunt. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Philadelphia, good night, everybody.
And I'll see you next time with game number 4. See you guys next time.